let's stop. Let's play it back here quick. Shut it off. Now let's take a look at our graph. Not much change. So the red to the orange line, we see the horsepower and torque are basically the same. That doesn't surprise me because the fuel is essentially dialed into target. Where we gain our power is ignition timing, generating more cylinder pressure, and then variable cam control, dialing in some more overlap, which fills the cylinder more, which generates more cylinder pressure. So once we get the fuel dialed in, we can move into spark timing, and the spark timing and fuel tuning process are completely separate from each other. So that's why we can do fuel first, then spark timing. So let's take a look here. See if we need to clean up our fuel table anymore. So paying attention to our full throttle pull right here, we're finding in this range, it looks like it's kind of settled out here. We just got to let it settle out into the pool right about here. It looks like it was adding a little bit of fuel, but only because I was transitioning through this range. If you notice right here, the closed loop correction was starting to add a little bit of fuel in here. It looks like we might need a little bit of fuel right here. Let's just go in here and do shift asterisk. Let's type in 1.05. Let's add 5% right here. We'll just blend that up and down into the table, just blending those changes. So horizontal, vertical blends. Okay, let's kind of move along here. Now we're down into our high load section here, and we're starting to get into pretty appreciable boost. Now we're noticing right here that lambda is 0.772, which is rich, to 0.78. That's happening right about here. And we go a little bit above that, it's starting to take out here about 6%. Now we're a little leaner than our target, so 81 to 78. And then top end of the pool here, we're at 77 to 78 with a 2% adjustment. So the top end looks great. We can probably take out a little bit of fuel right here. So just highlight, shift asterisk 0.98, we'll take out 2%. Let's backtrack a little bit. So we're right here. Let's actually do H so we can see this a little bit better. We're right here. We can see that it was correcting 3%, but notice that we're leaner than target, which we have to look before this range where it was adjusting. So right here, it started to try to take out some fuel. So the closed loop is going to be chasing an error. And we're finding, as we're kind of looking through this, we're seeing that it was a little bit rich right here. And the closed loop correction was a little bit slow to react right about here. It's kind of a little too rich. And then all of a sudden it realizes it's too rich. It takes it out. It overcorrects and it comes back in here. So it's, we have to watch how we're adjusting this. Let's take a step backwards here. So looking in this transition right about here, this is too rich right here. Now it was adding 5%, so it might be a little bit rich from that, but let's go back our values down just a little bit. We'll do shift asterisk. Let's take out 5%. And then we're just gonna go and blend this up and down here. So we'll do shift V. Horizontal blend, we'll do shift H. And then we'll move up a little bit more. Let's kind of go in this mid-range right about in here. And again, I was taking here about 6% out. I don't want to make a whole lot of changes here. Let's just go in and blend it. Let's do shift H here. Let's do shift H here. It'll bring some of the values down right before that. And we can see 76, 76, 74, 72. The values are pretty close to each other. Let's just try that, and then we'll see how it goes. We'll see if we need to adjust any further there. Now, one thing I want to mention as we're looking through that and kind of playing back how it was adjusting, we do have the ability to go in here and change things like the update rate table. So we might want to speed up the control. At the high RPM here, the update rate is 10. It's pretty fast. In the 5,000, we can go to 10 here. 4,000, we can go to 10. 10's the highest, the fastest we can make it. 3,000, you might want to speed that up to 8. And 2,000, you might want to speed it up to something like 6. So we're just going to go feedback a little bit quicker to hopefully improve how quick it's happening and reacting to the change in the closed loop control. We don't want to go too aggressive, too low of engine speed, because it can make it hypersensitive and start to make a lot of oscillations in the closed loop control, which we want to avoid. But let's test out speeding up the update rate and see what that's going to do with updating our VE table here. So we made our changes. Let's store those changes. Let's click H here to put the color back into the table. Okay, let's take a look here at our knock. Let's see if we evened out the signal. And look at this. Looks like we have. So as I was mentioning here, we used the gains here to get these cylinders a little bit tighter to each other. So looking at this, looking at just the overall profile, we don't find one or two cylinders higher than the rest. They're relatively even to each other. What this is going to allow me to do is track tighter with my knock threshold. I like to go about 30% higher than whatever the values show me from my knock levels. That's a good amount of allowance of overstep so that we're able to go in and we're able to not have it trigger falsely but also being able to take action if something actually happens. We have a knock event. Now with a Bosch flat response, when there's a knock event, it's a very clear spike or jump in the signal. It's not going to be choppy from the signal. We see it's relatively smooth. We're not going to find that it's going to have little spikes. It's going to have a nice big jump when there's an actual knock event. So we have low timing right now. 0 degrees is what we're commanding. We can see that right here. The ignition angle is 0. We're finding our knock level.
Thanks for checking out our teaser clip. If you want to see the rest of this video and more than 500 hours of current EFI training we have to offer, make sure you click right here. If you want to go and check out more teaser clips from this training course, click here. And you don't want to miss any of the videos we're going to be releasing on this channel, so make sure you subscribe and click here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.